Well, good day, everybody. So, everybody's three people bouncing in now. There's a few more, but anyway, I've probably caught everyone out because it's not my usually later in the evening time slot. But a few things going on. Everyone's having a good time in Shelter Bay Marina there, and we're just talking to the guys about the trailer and moving bits and pieces, and very frustrating that we're not there to do lives and catch them when they arrive. We've offered to do Facebook interviews with them here, but there's an internet issue over there, and they're all having a good time anyway. So there you go. But John is just about to arrive. Argo just slipped in shortly after Adam on Little B. So there's what I think 6 boats in now. So nearly half the fleet is already there, and I thought we'll just bounce it on and just show everyone what's going on now anyway. Because after John gets in, there's a bit of a gap coming in with the others. So I'll go straight to the tracker and see what's happening. So that's where they all are right at the moment. This is Shelter Bay Marina. Captain Coconut's anchored outside. He may not be able to get a berth in there yet. I'm not sure. But anyway, Captain Coconut's anchored just outside the marina here. That's where you come in. There's their travel lift. I showed you this the other night. That's where the boats are set up. And you can see they're a bit scattered all over right now, which is fine. I think they just bounced the position. No, that should be, no, it's okay. They're back on only once or twice a day because they're across the finish line. So that's that lot. Hang on, get rid of that, and I'll zoom out and show you John. He should be just about on the line. Um, let's see here. He's disappeared. What's going on here? There he is. So the timing on that, he should be on 15 minutes. Yeah, so that's 3:15, 4:15. So that's only about 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes old. So there's the finish line dead ahead. He's got daylight, which is kind of nice. I'm measuring. He's got about 3 miles to go, and he's doing 4.2, so still 3/4 of an hour maybe before he gets across the line, and then he can make his way up into the marina. So that's cool. Actually, it's interesting to see. It's quite a hike, just to show you, from the finish line to the marina. That's a couple of miles, so it's a fair way. Once they get in there, they keep sailing, and they're in. But anyway, he's very close to the finish. He'll be happy with that. Nice to arrive in daylight. Of course, it's a bit easier. Cheapest, everything's going nuts here. I can't get to the. Here we go. Zip it back, and then we'll see how things are going. This will be a quick one. Put the breeze in. They slowed down because it's only light breeze. You can see there it's 5 to 10 knots. Good sailing. They'll be enjoying the ride, so to speak. Sun Bear's next on the list, doing 4.2 knots, and he's still got 83 miles to go. So that's sometime tomorrow morning, by the look of it, sometime mid-morning. Then we come back to BB, just zipped in behind Sun Bear. He's doing 3.6 knots, 97-mile day, 55 to go. What did I say? 85. That's his daily run. So he's done 83 miles today. He's got 42 miles to go, so it's about 10 hours. So he'll be in daylight. So it should be it's about 10:30, I think, 10:30 in the morning, and he'll have 10 hours to go. So just after dark, maybe. Same for BB. There'll be a dark entering, maybe. I'm not sure exactly when sunset is there, but anyway. And so 55 miles for BB, 42. So BB's only 13 miles behind him. And then Peter Punk, 3.6 knots, and did a 98-mile day. Got 83 miles to go. So she'll be in the dark as well, early hours of the morning, maybe. Yeah, I think so. No, maybe not. Maybe just as the sun's coming up. Peter Punk should be there, and then TRAKER. His timing, that was 12 o'clock, so still a bit behind on the TRAKER. We've been having a few little issues with the YBs and stuff, but anyway, the scenario is he did a 100-mile day. He will have slowed down now. He's only doing 3.6, But I think he's in the current as well. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So he could be sometime daylight, end of the day tomorrow. Popeye doing 3.5, 98-mile day, 122 miles to go. So he'll be in the dark the day after tomorrow. And Skookum, 2.7 knots. Boy, you must be getting hammered with the current and 100 nautical mile day, 113 to go. That's number 2 over here, Jasmine, 2.8 knots. I bet she's sitting in the current. And 88 miles to go. Oh, look at that. 88 to go, and she's 88. There you go. Let's just check the currents. Oh, not as bad as Peter Punk and Co. Wow. That's why they're slowed up. TRAKER as well. That's a good knot, and knot and a bit. And if you, so they're showing 3.6, they're probably sailing at 4.6, which makes a bit of sense. Sunbear's just come out of it. Sunbear did pretty well here, just hooking along the edge. That's the way to go. Or even just down here. Huge difference knowing where that is. And the overall position hasn't changed since they left Antigua. So I'm surprised they've approached that through there, but that's how it goes. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. It's easy for me because I can see exactly where it is and what's going on. Jasmine's in a bit of better position over there, coming down through that lot. It's a little bit less current, on a bit better an angle as well for the specific area of the current. So that's okay, but that puts her in, oh, well, it's really hard to say. I've lost track now, but I'll have a look at the leaderboard in a sec. But before we do, let's just push it out and have a look here for the wind. Get the wind back online, and we'll just see what Gary's doing. I think he was forecast to have really light stuff, and he has got really light stuff. A bit of a hole, 3.2 knots. At least it's coming from the right direction, which is good for him. And we'll just push it through, but you can see there's not a lot of wind there. So his distance to the finish is still 1,070. Hasn't travelled too far since the beginning, but at least he's moving. So we'll just hit that and then hit this one here. I'm just pushing it through. There's the 6. So sometime tomorrow it's going to get a little bit stronger, but not that much stronger. So he's still got gentle breezes. Nice way to sail, but not a lot happening. Yeah, he's going to be slow. That's the 7th. So 2 days later, still gentle. I'm just going to roll this through for a couple of days. Yeah, very much lighter than the fleet had, but by the time it gets through to the 9th, in 3 or 4 days, he's got good winds. He'll be moving. So the ETA is not going to be too bad. It's the 5th, so it'll take 12 days probably, maybe the 17th. But there's still plenty of breeze. I'm pushing it right the way through, assuming this weather is correct. So that's fine. He's going to have breeze, so he'll keep moving. He'll get there and he'll have about 8 or 9 days once he's in Panama, and then he's joined the club. He's back in the game. So just go to the leaderboard and you can see the results there. You can work out the hourly difference. So the fleet was generally pretty close. First 4 came in within about 8 hours, I think it was. And then we got to Little Wren. She was, what's that, about 12 hours behind Immortal Gain. And then 4 hours behind that was Argo, and John will be in very shortly, which is about another 4 hours behind Argo. And then the suggestion is that what do we got? It'll be 9 hours back to Sunbear. So about 9 hours or so. I was saying 10 before, but yeah, about 9 hours, and we've got Sunbear. So BB is on the 5th of March at midnight, so that'll be in the dark. Peter Punk, 6 o'clock, that'll be about midnight. Hang on, what am I talking about? No, 6 hours, so jeepers, now that'll be about midnight local time, a little bit after, so she's in the dark as well. Then we've got number 2. No, there's 5 hours difference to UTC, so number 2 is 5 hours. So yeah, it'll be early hours in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning the next day, local time. So she'll be in the dark as well. TRAKER, too far back to tell. But anyway, estimated finish time, 12, this is 6 o'clock. That'll be sometime in the morning. sometime early morning, maybe dawn, on the 6th, yeah, something like that. And then Skookum, I'm going to pull that down a bit. Skookum is looking 6th of March, 1300. So that's going to be in the morning, first light again. That's a good way to arrive. Popeye, yeah, daylight arrival. And question 2, who knows, too far away. Okay, that's enough of that. I'll just come back here, say g'day, see if there's anyone there, and we'll say g'day. Okay. Okay, I'm preempting everything. G'day, John. Hi, are you going to see anyone get in? Don't ask me. I don't know. We're about to. We're packing up now, actually, to get out of here. I'm pondering. I say, how could I get it so wrong? It's kind of weird, eh? I think I'm not sure how all this evolved, but it's so blatantly obvious now that we're way off track. And maybe it was late at night. I was booking things and doing all the estimates of where things are happening and what's going on, but I completely muffed this one. Anyway, although it was kind of handy for us now, but because we had to go and pick up the car and stuff, so it shortened things and we had other things to do. But I would have rather been over there welcoming everyone in. But there you go. So I got the first thumbs up. Yeah, no, good. Let's see, g'day. G'day. Oh, jeepers, Argo's got. I bet she's missing you. Anyway, Benjamin, what's the update on the lad at the back? Oh, I just mentioned that, so you got him. He's a slow start, not much wind, happy as he'd be enjoying the sail, and there's every expectation he's going to catch up with the fleet and have a good break in Panama, zip him across and all done. Guys, look at the wind. What's the reality of the arrival? So I just did, yeah. So that's it on the nose. No, it's not on the nose. It's all coming from behind. You'll see Gary. Yep, for sure. So it's all looking good. So yeah, right now they're just enjoying the serenity of the place. We've had a few messages from everyone, and everyone's happy. You know, they're just winding back, and because it's so quick, they get longer in port. You know, they've got to pay more berthing fees, I suppose, but there's no real rush to get things happening. The guys are working on the trailer now, trying to sort that out, and some of them will start to think when you get in, you don't want to do anything for the first day or so, and then they'll get organised, get the boats out. Some have got to do some work, but we'll be very busy as soon as we get there working on flamenco, see if we can get over there and so on. Just finishing the sailing instructions, quite funny. Writing the sailing instructions are not your normal sailing instructions, believe me, because this is the first time we go through the issue of the stopovers. Like they've got 23 days of stopovers. They've got to declare their start and finish times based on when they drop their anchor. Yeah, that's the finish of that one, and then they've got to tell us when they start again, and so that's a declared stopover because it's subtracted from the 23 days. And then there's compulsory stopovers. They have to stop for at least 6 days in Papeete, but they can sail straight through the Marquises. But they've got to sail between Nuka Hiva and the other one, the northern and southern one, so you can't bypass Marquise. You've got to go through whether you stop or not. There's some pretty cool stops there, so I think some will. And then the same with Tonga. There's a gate there, and we'll see how many stop and so on. And then there's 2 finish lines in Fiji. We've got an offshore finish line outside the lagoon, if depending on what the weather's doing, or right inside the lagoon up by Vuda, which is what we prefer to do. We're going to bring them into the lagoon. You've got a couple of entrances there. One's got lead lights at night time, but you get big currents there with the tide. And the other is a huge wide open one right by Cloudbreak, a very famous surf break there. It's quite amazing. Good place to be. And there's an island right in the middle, so you can go this entrance, but it's wide open. You can sail in there at night time, things like that. So they'll have options to get into the lagoon and then sail up the top. We're allowing them to use their motors all the way to the finish line in Fiji. Normally, we restrict the use of the motor on finishes because you don't want people motoring up the finish line if you're neck and neck. But that's not going to happen over this lot. They'll be separated and so on, and we don't care because the use of the engine is such that it's a tactical tool to use, which helps with the development of electric engines and stuff. It's an interesting scenario, how to get the most miles from the battery capacity you've got, and how quickly can you recharge your batteries with your solar panels, or hydro charging, with the prop going, things like that. So if there's no wind, it's a tactical move. So you're allowed to use your engine coming to the finish line in Fiji, and also part of that is because you've got a lagoon there, and you might want to, normally we restrict 10 miles out, but you might want to motor through the pass into the lagoon and then start sailing again, or whatever. So lots of considerations there. And then the way they report that, when they drop their anchor, they've got to report that and take photos on the chart plotter with the Citran bear and stuff, and report that to the manager and then back again. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. And it's part of the concept of they are independent voyages. They're doing their own sail across the Pacific. And yes, we've got legs to regroup them so they can catch up instead of scattering. But it's, it's quite fun. So they'll have these, if they don't use their 23 days, that's added on the end, and then we work out their overall time on the water. And if they want to take longer, they can stop over at any of those stopovers. They can extend if they want, but the clock is starting on them, so it's using up their sea time. So that's it, guys. Look at the wind and just check for any last one. You'll see, Gary, just see what happened to the Pacific Row off Brisbane. Yeah, it was all a bit sad. I don't know. I was watching that. I've been watching that for some time because I picked up when he was in the storm. I hadn't seen it before. I didn't know he was doing the row. But it was just crazy. It was insane. He was right in the middle, or right in the thick of it, the worst quadrant of the lot. But I haven't seen anything written about what happened on board. I saw the video that was just provided today by the Australian Navy. And just for those of you that didn't see it, he was rowing across the Pacific, heading for Australia. It was nearly finished. And it was a Yugoslavian guy, I think. And it was a pretty nice looking boat. He was obviously fit and healthy. But anyway, he just after the peak of the cyclone, he turned his EPIRB on, and the Australian Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre sent out a plane straight away to get over the top of him. So this is standard procedure, to see what's happening and see if they need to drop other equipment maybe. And then because there wasn't any other shipping out there, because it was like a cyclone around the place, they decided to dispatch a Navy vessel, like I forget the name of it, Australian Navy vessel. Might have been a supply ship. I can't remember. I didn't see a good photo of it. I forget the name. Anyway, they got out there and they launched a rib, went in, picked him up, brought him back to the ship, lifted the rib back onto the ship, and he looked pretty mobile when he came off the boat. He didn't look injured or anything, so I'm not sure of the story. And the boat was still afloat, and I would say he probably hasn't scuttled it. I don't know. Maybe he did, but it looked to be well afloat when he got off. So unfortunate, but those things happen. So good that they got him. And Lithuanian, yeah, thanks, John. So that was kind of interesting. But I've got to say, pretty much through the Pacific, generally speaking, the rescue coordination centres and the shipping that's around the place, it's pretty efficient. They do an amazing job. So that was a very successful operation for those ones. We've got a lot of rowing things happening around us at the moment. It's kind of funny because we're in Antigua and the world's toughest row was there. And when we left Lanzarote, they have another one called the Atlantic Dash, which they had 4 entries in that one. The Atlantic Row had about 32 or so entries, and I know quite a few people that are doing it, besides Jasmine. And then in the Golden Globe race, our other solo race, Erden, one of our entrants, has got 12 rowing world records. Quite crazy, some of the things he was doing. He was using a Woodville plywood rowboat, and he rowed. He was the first person ever to do a human-powered circumnavigation. So he basically rowed all the way around the world in the oceans, and then when he got onto land, he usually rowed push bikes and so on, and circumnavigated the globe by human power. It was quite amazing. And so, yeah, rowing, quite a challenge. Never done it, but thought about it a few times, but never did. Okay, so yeah, the Australian Navy is very cool. Since the fleet is fast. Oh, hang on a sec. You see what? Okay, since the fleet is faster than you estimated, did you think about changing the departure dates to earlier for the next legs, e.g. leg 2? Oh, we already did. We squeezed it up as far as we can. We knocked out as much as we could in the beginning, mainly because the next leg is a long one. But no, I'm not worried about changing that now, because they'll still need all this time to get across. So, but we can if we want to. We can if we want to. But it's set for the 23rd at the moment, and we'll hold that. But yes, if we think we get there on the 7th, let's wait and see what happens with all the issues about the trailer, about movement, about the people themselves, and about the marina on the other side. I've got a sneaky suspicion we're going to have trouble on the other side, and they might all end up having to anchor out. If that's the case, they'll be hesitating. Some of them could be watching this. They'll be hesitating to leave Shelter Bay Marina first, because it's quite nice there. You've got everything you need. And on the other side, if you're anchoring out, it's not quite as convenient. So let's wait and see. But I can already see, I've been looking around at things, and it's chock-a-block over that side. There's not much space anywhere, which is part of the reason in our long-term planning that we decided on a Le Mans start. So there's no start gun. The start takes place in the car park at the marina, and we do a toast to the 580 class. Then we do a toast to John Guswell and TRAKER, and then we give TRAKER 3 cheers at the end, and they're off from the car park. So wherever they are, if they're out of anchor or on a marina berth or whatever, that's how it starts. And we sort of figured that, nearly a year ago, 6 months ago, that because it's historically a problem on the Pacific side of the Panama, where you're going to base, what are you going to do? And people don't stay there that long. They don't sit there for a month on the marina on the other side, usually. So anyway, that's about it. So we'll see you again on another TRAKER update. I'm not sure when, because we'll be on the road shortly. But everyone's happy on that side, and we'll look forward to getting there with them. Wish we were there now. Thanks a lot, and I'll press this one and see you later.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.